Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative. Before we get started today, I want to thank one of my subscribers for coming up with a potential idea for the blocks I made in order to get them to stack together. So I'm going to have to put that into play as far as seeing whether it'll work or not. So I really appreciate them reaching out to me on my Facebook page and giving me the suggestion, because it was not one I had thought of. And I will take the time. As usual, I've got a couple of things I've got to get finished up, and then I will work on their suggestion and we'll see how it goes. Now, today is not about the piece. Today is all about math. And for any of you who have followed me, math is not my strong suit. It just isn't. There are people out there that are whizzes with numbers and formulas, and I don't like formulas. I'll be totally honest. Don't like them. However, I'm going to make it through this. What we are attempting today, it is a numbers game. It is in regards to using ceramic resin. I have said in the past, I would love to have a formula that actually gets me as close can be to filling up our resin pieces, or not our resin pieces, our molds with ceramic resin, so I don't have leftover. Now, one of the things I did mean to do, and I haven't done it right now, was to have another mold out here in the unlikely event that I have too much. So before I get mixing everything up, I'll pause this video and go grab something so that we have something. I'm sort of talking and looking around my room at the same time, and I'm nowhere near a mold. I'll have to just quickly pause and then get going again. This is the plan. This is the piece. It's not an egg, but it has sort of the shape on the bottom of it that would look like a cracked egg if you want. So we're going to do this piece. I was very careful with within. I did my best just measuring this out. I figured this holds about 120 mils of water. I then took the formula that AI came up with for me. I worked through it. So approximately 120 mil of water in doing the formula, and I will share this formula in the description below, so you don't have to, I don't want to read through it all, but basically what it ended up giving me was that I would need approximately 185 combined water and ceramic resin. I broke that down based on the formula, 142 of the ceramic resin powder to 43 mils of water. I've measured that all out. I have also, because who knows, I've got an extra 30 mil all ready to go in the event that my formula isn't quite right, if we need some extra. So I like to err on the side of having extra just in case, so I don't have to madly run back over to the container and, haul some more out and then start getting frustrated because I need more. And yeah, it's just easier for me if I have it all ready to go. And I'm just seeing a spot in this of something, so I'm getting that out of there. Alrighty, I'm going to put you on a quick pause. I'm going to go grab another mold. All right, I have some extra molds ready to go in the event that we need them. I'm just going to put my other water over there, bring up what I need on the table. Get some of this other stuff just out of the way. The color we're going to use is Sky Blue. This is a Temu water-based pigment. I put my formula off to the side here. Here's my scribbled notes of what we're going to be doing and what I came up with. All right, let's just do this. Let's see what happens. How lucky are we going to get? It would be beautiful. I have to admit, if this works, I'm going to be very, very happy. I've been using AI a lot lately. I know some people aren't big fans of it. I'm loving it because the course that I'm currently in is helping me with the course that I'm working on building. And you know what? Having something available to yourself 24/7 is brilliant. And the answers this thing comes up with, instantaneous, and I've just been blown away by how well it's been working for me. So if you haven't tried AI and it's something you've heard people talking about, I'm loving it. I know that's not the way with everybody, but I am loving it. All right, I think what we're going to do is, I have mixed my color in before, so we're going to mix my color in. I'll just see that the bottom's good. Remember, always shake. And it does make it a little bit easier if the color, and now if I'm not mistaken, when I did this the last time, I used this stuff and it actually ended up thickening up the ceramic resin quicker. Was it that? Oh, I can't remember which I'd used now. But anywho, I'm all excited. It may seem really weird. I'm all excited about seeing whether or not this actually works. I have not tried this out. We're doing this together for the first time. And I am excited because as I said, I have just sort of gotten to the point where I'm frustrated with the fact that I end up with either too much or not enough of this stuff. And if it works, hey, it's one less thing I have to sort of think about. So we'll get this sky blue, which is turning into a very pale baby blue. The other thing I want to mention as I'm mixing this up is I had posted on my Facebook page, I had made a big bird that I was using as part of a piece I was making for a wedding gift for my niece and now my nephew and now his wife. And I posted on my Facebook page, I had sort of thought of showing it on the video or a video, but they have it now. It is on my Facebook, Being Intentionally Facebook page if you want to go over and see what I did. So it was the hands with a bird being held within the hands and a couple of those small birds perched on the side. And they loved it, which is brilliant. They are moving into a new home within a couple of weeks. And they're going to have it in their entranceway. So I'm very glad they liked it, which is brilliant. And yeah, if you want to go see it, go check that out on my Facebook page. Okay, we don't need this, really vibrant color. I want it to have a little bit of color. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it after it's done as far as decorating it goes, but so the moment of truth, people. All about the numbers on this video, nothing else. All right. I got my fingers crossed. I really hope this works. It'll be brilliant if it does. Like, I will just be so happy. Happy, happy, happy. And I'm curious to know if you're watching this, what you think. And if it doesn't work, then I got to go back and recalculate. I just want to bounce this a bit. If you're wondering what the heck's she doing, I'm not sure we're going to have enough, but yeah, we don't have enough either. So let's quickly get that other 30 mil fixed up and ready to go. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that will be enough. Because if not, then I got to run over. So the formula is not working. Either that or my measuring skills are so totally out to lunch. Right, with the water. Like, what I'm doing is I'm putting water into a measuring cup and then pouring it. So maybe I need to, not put so much in and do it in increments of, let's say, 50 mils at a time or something like that. Or my measuring cup is off. I don't know, which isn't good if you have got a measuring cup that's not right. So let's see what this 30 does. And we still don't have enough. All right, so I guess I'm going to go get some more ceramic resin because we're not up at the top yet. So we'll get another 20. Hopefully I don't take you for a ride here. Let me get some more in here. Well, that's a disappointment. That's not working. I'm going to have to double check my measurements from a water perspective. Come on. There we go. And I am just going to blindly add some water to this. Just add a little bit. I'll put it in here so we've got some there. I know we only need about 3 ml in that. So hopefully I've got it close to enough. Yeah, I don't have enough. So I'll have to go back to the drawing board, because I figured there's got to be a formula. So whether, like I said, unless my measurements are totally off, when it comes to, you know, the amount of water I've got in my mold. I don't know. Like I said, there's got to be a formula. Or there's something else I have to figure out. Yeah, I'll just... My... stuff is starting to set up, but that's okay. There's my egg, and I'm only going to have a little bit left, so let's see, where should we put this? We'll just put this in here. All right, so that in there, put that in there, and throw that over there. All right, so maybe 10, so 185, 142. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to sit down. I was really hoping this was gonna work, people. Really hoping this was gonna work, and that we would have a formula. So while this is setting up, I'll look at this formula again. Maybe do a little bit more math to see if I messed up somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'll have a look at this. We'll let this set up. If I figure out anything brainiac between now and the time we come to take this out, you'll be really lucky. And if not, then I guess it is back to the drawing board, and the only thing to see here will be the actual piece when it comes out of the mold. I love when a plan comes together. Okay, we will be back in probably about 2 hours to take this out and see if I've learned any more kind of math skills. See you in a bit. It isn't time to take our piece out yet, but I did notice something interesting when I went back and looked at my math. I added up all the ceramic resin I put into the piece we made, and it worked out to be approximately 182 grams of ceramic resin. And that got me thinking about, maybe I don't need to take it to the extra step of breaking that number down. So I took the 120 ml of water that went into it, I multiplied that by 0.65, which is the factor that they had given me in the original equation. And then when I multiplied that, so the 120 by 0.65, that gave me 182 grams. And originally I had come up with 185 when I did the math, right? So it got me thinking, do I stop at that point? This piece here is our heart mold. I weighed it. I actually put it on my scale. I weighed it. I went back to 0 and I added 55 ml of water. And I thought, okay, so I took that 55, I divided that by 0.65, which actually gave me 85 grams of ceramic resin. I kept that 85, I did not break it down, and I came up with that I would need 28 grams and mils are the same. So I came up with that I would need 28 mils of water, which is what I have here. So we are going to test my theory out to see if that's where we need to stop. That as long as we know how much ceramic resin we need, then the water is the easy part. It's getting the right amount of ceramic resin that I struggle with. Okay, so we're going to make our heart red. I've got in this one, I'm using the Alumilite. I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to put the color in after the fact. I'm trying to think, one of these ended up thickening up my ceramic resin the last time, and I can't remember which one it was. So we're just going to put the water over here in case we need some more. So let's see if my theory works. And if it doesn't, well, you know, I tried. You got to give me credit. And this goes to the point of how I play. Right? If I weren't videotaping this and I had that off on its own, like, this is what I would do. And it'd be like, ooh, this might work. And then I would test that out. So a lot of what I do, or some of what I do, is experimenting, it's playing, it's trying to figure things out, seeing what works, what doesn't work, in order to give you guys as many tips as I can, you know, in the process of doing the videos. So you don't have to sort of struggle through this. Because I haven't seen anyone who's really said to me, okay, here's your formula, go to it. And I want a formula. Like, again, I'm sort of getting to the point of, can I stop wasting this stuff by having to either make more, or I've made way too much. Like, I have seriously made way too much at times. So, yeah, I want an answer. I don't know if anyone else out there in the world wants one, but I do, just because. So we'll mix in our, this bottle drives me nuts because I cleaned it out in order to get the paste to come out, the pigment, I guess it is. And as usual, it's not cooperating with me. I maybe need not a new, but something wider than a pin to open that. I don't know why that one gets so clogged up. Okay. Just want to make sure this is properly mixed. So let's see if this works. Either that or I just go back to the drawing board, and I'll see you next year sometime. All right. I see you next year sometime. All right, so we have too much now. You know, go figure. Weird, eh? Well, I might have to go back to the drawing board, and it might have had something to do with the measurements, right? Now, I don't have a lot of ceramic resin here, and I'm gonna top this up a little bit more. Like, I do have too much. I wouldn't say a lot too much, but I do have too much. And it'd be great if I knew how much I had too much of, so I could, you know, go back. But I'll go back and I'll, you know, use the formula I had and see if maybe, like, their way would have worked if I had measured it on my this thing over here on my scale originally. Like, if I had done that, would I have had like the right amount. And it's because of not doing it on the scale. And that's, you know, maybe where the breakdown happened. And I'll measure that. So when this is all said and done, I just need to clean this up and add a little bit more. This is going to take a little bit longer to, oops, there we go. That'll be perfect. Okay, we'll just throw that, I'll let that set up. It's not going to matter. Okay, getting lost in my thoughts here. I will, when we take that out, I'm going to have to take this into a different room though, because I'm not willing to sort of attempt doing that in this room. I want to do it over by a sink. I'll take it back out. I will measure it. I'll weigh it out and see how much this actually holds. And then I'll do my formula again, because who knows? I mean, I will admit, maybe when I filled it up, I didn't get my numbers right. But I just thought when I came up with that 182 that maybe that's where we needed to stop. But no, it's not. So I'll do some math with this and see what I come up with. We'll redo that once it's out. And this video might be a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I do want to figure this out. So we may be not at a total loss with that formula just yet. Again, I'll see you when it's ready to take these pieces out. All right, we are back. I didn't, this has been sitting for more than 2 hours. So anyway, and I kind of wish I had come back to this sooner because the math was somewhat clear in my head when I went through it. What we're going to do is we're just going to take these other molds. And once this is out, we are going to get my scale over here. We are going to measure out, because I'm curious to know how far off I might have been with this piece. So we will do that, because we know that when I did this one, because I had thought, oh, I've got this all figured out, and then apparently I didn't. I do want to weigh that out with water to see how far I may or may have been off with my measurements. And then, like usual, I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board a little bit with what I understand, just because, as I've said before, math is not my skill. Having said that, though, perhaps what I'm doing here and what we're trying to figure out, there'll be some of you that are out there that are a whiz with numbers and go, oh, okay, I get what she's doing. And you'll be able to use the formula. Trying to get that out. I kind of like the idea that I have a red and a blue of this, because I'm thinking maybe of putting them into earrings. One's big, one's thicker than the other, but that's totally irrelevant to me. Who's going to be able to tell that? And it's going to be so curious to know if I can get this out with my nails. There's a disadvantage to having nails this long, I tell you. I don't know how some people manage with, when they've got them this long, if not longer. Now, granted, yeah. Oh, wow. Bear with me. I'll get it out. It's that getting it rolled, right? That's the ticket. You get rolling it, and then you can go. Yeah, man. Roll with me. Yeah, man. Ugh. I'm just getting really back into being able to type with these nails too, because that's always a challenge for me, especially when I keep my regular nails relatively short. That's the way to do it. All right, so there is our cool little bowl. And it's not about the bowl though, remember? It's all about the math. Who ever thought they would get a math lesson while watching a YouTube video that's around art and not supposed to be around math? Ugh. All right. Anyway, so there's our cute little, call it a dinosaur, half egg. I think I'm going to end up putting decoupage on that, but there we are. We'll have to let that dry out properly before we do that. Now, let's get the scale. Oops, don't drop it, Natalie. We'll get that over here. And I'll worry about the mess I may make later trying to move this. But I do have containers that I can pour the water into, so that's not a big deal. I'm going to have it this way so I can see numbers. So here we go. Put that on. Get that back to 0. And let's see how much water. Like I've got about 200 mils of water in here. Let's see what it takes. So I should have like enough water for this. And we'll see how much it takes. And then I'm quick going to do the math to see where we end up. Now, this is interesting because that just goes to show. All right. So that is reading 123. I had thought, what did I say, 120 when I was starting out with this. And we didn't have enough. So let's do, I'm going to do the math. Did I bring over the piece of paper? It doesn't matter, actually, I don't need it. So we have 123 mil in that. And I've got the factors that we have to multiply. Well, they're factors, the decimal points we have to do this against. So 23 times 0.77 equals, no, I'm not doing that right. I'm doing that wrong. It's supposed to be divided by. Make sure you get the equation right. And I know when it's wrong because of the numbers I'm getting. So let me do that again. You have to divide the number. Nope. Natalie, divide. Oh, Natalie. Work the calculator, even though you're on screen. It's all good. 159. That's odd. See, that still doesn't make any sense to me because I ended up using about 182 of the ceramic resin. And yet it's saying I need 159 based on my math. 160. But so 160. And then stop doing that. Oh, if I knew what I was doing. Crying out loud. So that totally did not go right. All right, let me do this one more time, people. I'm going to give you what I have that I got from AI, and I am going to list it in the description below. Why is that doing that? That's totally wacko. That is not right. Okay. I'm having a hard time working my calculator. I need to move this. As I say that, I don't want to have it spill all over the place, so I'll move that when we're not on camera. Okay. I'm just going to take my calculator and go over to my other desk. Why is that? That number is totally off. All right, I am going nowhere real fast, and I'm not going to hold you up anymore. I'm going to, again, the information will be in the description below. If there's anyone out there who is any good at math, please feel free to jump on and comment. This was meant to be a potentially solid way, if you will, of figuring out how much ceramic resin we needed for our pieces, but for whatever reason, my numbers are going totally in the wrong direction because with what I'm doing right now, I'm getting like 500 and something for water, and that is not right. I know that. So, yeah, I'll play with those numbers. I'll make comment in the description below. And again, if anyone knows anything about math, when you have a look at the formula, and if you have any thoughts, please share them with me. If no one else, I would really appreciate that. And, well, you got to see a new piece. And we have seen that the formula I have, it's either, and I would be more thinking it's me than the formula. But anyway, thank you for watching. And I hope you appreciate the pain I went through for this video and the whole math thing. I really should give that up. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day, whatever you're doing. I hope this video, especially if you are a math genius. And we will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.